Think about the last time someone asked you for something you didn't want to do. Not because you were busy that day, not because you were incapable, but because something inside you quietly resisted. You already knew the answer was no. Your body knew it first. Your mind caught up later. And yet, the moment you said no out loud, something else took over. An instinct, a reflex you didn't consciously choose. You felt the urge to explain yourself, to justify your reasoning in detail, to soften the emotional impact before the other person even reacted. You didn't just say no and stop there. You explained your schedule. You explained your energy. You explained your priorities and your situation. And when it was finally over, you didn't feel confident. You felt exposed, like your decision was still waiting to be approved. If that sounds familiar, you need to hear this clearly. You are not broken, but you are trained. Modern life has conditioned people to believe that accessibility equals decency. Fast replies feel polite. Availability feels responsible. Declining feels suspicious. We live in a world of Slack messages, calendar invites, WhatsApp blue ticks, and unread notifications. Everyone is reachable, all the time. So when you say no, your nervous system doesn't interpret it as a choice. It interprets it as a risk, a social risk. Not physical danger, social danger, disapproval, conflict, emotional distance, awkward silence. Somewhere earlier in your life, saying no cost you something. Maybe approval, maybe peace, maybe safety. So your brain adapted. It learned a workaround. Explain yourself before they misunderstand. Explain yourself before they get upset. Explain yourself before they pull away. That pattern stayed with you, even when the threat disappeared. Now it activates automatically. Here's the truth most people never confront. Over-explaining is not communication. It's self-protection. You're not trying to be clear. You're trying to manage how the other person feels about your no. And the moment you do that, your no loses authority. Because explanations invite negotiation. You say you're busy today. They suggest another time. You say you're tired lately. They minimize it. You say you can't commit. They try to solve around your reason. At that point, you're no longer choosing, you're defending. And defending your boundaries teaches people that your boundaries are adjustable. This is why over-explainers feel drained all the time. They are not saying no once, they are re-arguing it repeatedly. Look at how this plays out in real life right now. At work, the people who explain the most get interrupted the most. The ones who send long emails justifying their absence still get pulled into meetings. Meanwhile, the person who says, "I won't be able to join," rarely gets questioned. Not because they're rude, but because they sound decided. Certainty changes behavior. This applies outside work too. Friends, family, relationships. The more you explain, the more people feel entitled to push. Not because they are bad people, but because your language signals flexibility. Here's the uncomfortable truth backed by social dynamics. A boundary does not need to be understood to be respected. It needs to be consistent. Now this part matters. Some people explain because they genuinely enjoy detail. They value clarity. They think in structure and context. That is not the issue. The issue is explaining out of fear. Fear of being disliked, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being seen as selfish or difficult. That kind of explaining costs you energy because it disconnects you from yourself. So how do you actually say no without over-explaining? It starts with a mental shift that feels small but isn't. Your no does not exist to make other people comfortable. It exists to reflect what is true for you. A boundary is not an argument. It is a statement of reality. When something is real, it does not require supporting evidence. In practice, this means saying no and stopping. No extra sentences, no emotional cushioning, no rescue attempts. And yes, the silence afterward will feel uncomfortable. Your anxiety will scream at you to fill it, to add context, to soften the blow. Don't do it. That silence is not rudeness. It is neutrality. What feels unbearable is not the silence itself. It's the loss of your old coping strategy. Your nervous system is used to smoothing things over. When you stop doing that, it panics briefly. That panic is not danger, it is recalibration. Here's a simple internal check you can use in the moment. Ask yourself one question. Am I explaining to inform, or am I explaining to protect myself from discomfort? If it's protection, stop. You've already said enough. Guilt may show up when you start doing this differently. That does not mean you're wrong. It means your brain is updating an old rule. Guilt often appears when you stop abandoning yourself to keep relationships smooth. You don't need to eliminate it, you just don't let it drive your behavior. Over time, something important happens. When your no becomes calm, brief, and consistent, people adjust. Some respect you more, some stop asking, some drift away. That is not loss, that is filtration. You are no longer available for dynamics that require self-betrayal. Saying no without over-explaining is not about dominance. It's about self-respect. Self-respect is the reputation you build with yourself when your actions align with your truth. Your time is not negotiable. Your energy is not cheap. Your no does not require approval. A clear no is enough. This is Unshaken Mind, and this is what quiet strength actually sounds like.